What is up, guys? In today's video we are going to be spectating random players in chapter 4 season 4 for the first time. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe to like see more, and comment down below if you think a video of how to loot these vault POIs would be helpful, if that's something you would be interested in seeing, just like, you know, tips for looting those POIs and fighting those POIs, because it's something I've thought about making, but you know, we're pretty late into the season, so I don't know how helpful that would be for other players at this point in time. We're going to be going Sanguine this game since it is hot. And also, it doesn't really matter with this POI because the closest radio tower spawns are here and here. And like whichever one it spawns between those two is just like fine for Sanguine. But I think it's important to like make note of where the nearest radio tower spawn is to where you're landing. And as you can see, it is the one at this ice lake there. So again, it's not the biggest deal for this one because the one that spawns near the snow, like both spawns are really close to each other. But like the one that can spawn Frenzy is like either here or at Frenzy, and that's like a big deal, you know. Like those are pretty. There's a larger space difference there. So let's see what we are gonna do. I think one of the biggest things with these vault POIs is just kind of getting to the vault quickly, unfortunately. The way I would like to play these is just kind of eliminate a bunch of people, fight everybody here, and then go for the vault afterwards. Unfortunately, that doesn't really work that well. You kind of need to like get to the vault quickly because there is like a decent amount of like cheesy ways to get into the vault. So like this player, there's like a drop underneath him that he could go through. And there's like a little wall you can break next to the vault. And I feel like getting to the vault kind of first and gatekeeping it from the other players is a better strategy than just trying to eliminate everybody and then go for the vault. And like I said, that's something that I had to like change how I was playing these, because I would like in an ideal world to just, you know, eliminate everybody and then go for the vault. But unfortunately, that's just not the case. And there's always going to be those people that rush it. So if you can't beat them, join them. And I think it's best to just kind of get to the vault. Kill the people as you can, obviously, but I like to get to the vault and then just kind of like gatekeep the other players from getting to that stuff. We'll see what Godzilla ends up doing. Hopefully they're decent. I wanted to land on them. They had the all black superhero skin, so hopefully they'd be a sweaty player. They get the vision pickaxe to go with it. Gonna get involved here, and it's seeming like he's not gonna go for the strategy that I talked about of just like trying to get to the vault quickly and then gatekeep the others, but it probably will work for him, as it doesn't sound like there's too many other players here. Went for the EMP nade there, and like these EMP nades just got added yesterday, and they are very overpowered. Or they just got added yesterday as of the time I'm recording this. I'm not sure what day I'm going to upload this video, but they're very overpowered. It hits for 70 shield damage per EMP. So in zero build, 2 EMPs, that's basically all the person's shield if they're full HP beforehand. And there's even an augment in the game that allows you to get 2 EMPs for every elimination you get. And since, like I just said, 2 does 140 shield, you basically spam them in every fight. It's very good when combined with shockwave. You shockwave up and then throw the EMPs down. And there's not much you could do. And that's, unfortunately, Godzilla kind of died to the chaos of this POI. They seemed like a good player for sure. Like, they seemed solid. But, you know, they kind of got into a damage trade fight, and then they get third-partied. And these POIs are super chaotic, and that can happen from time to time. And that was another reason why I was saying it's kind of nice to just get to the vault and gatekeep it, because not only do you have to not worry about somebody else leaving with the mythic, but I feel like you kind of escape a lot of that chaos. But that's just kind of the nature of the game. The more fights you get in, the more opportunity it is for you to get third-partied, and if you do want to get a high kill game, that's just a risk you have to take. I do not like the way this player has just ignored shockwaves. I could rename this series to like Jake complains about players not taking shockwaves, but there were several shockwaves up there. And I think shockwaves are much better than the rocket ram. They just always have been, in my opinion. I feel like you have more control over where you're going. You have more things you can do with the shockwaves. And then also with the addition of the EMP grenades, the shockwave EMP combo is very powerful. And you can't do the same with the rocket ram because you get trapped in the animation of doing it. So this player's going with the rocket ram over the shockwaves. Not what I would do personally, but we'll see what this alien does. This player's in a dumpster, I think. What he's looking for. I thought I heard somebody in trash. I don't know if there's any dumpsters around here, but it's, yeah, I think they're in that dumpster. I could be wrong though. I hope that, I kind of want to go into replay mode after this game and see if they were. If I remember to, I'll include it at the end of the game. So this player could go through these vents. The vent that's kind of to his right, if he was to go up those stairs and go to the right, that vent takes him right to where he needs to be. We'll see if he goes for that. He could just kind of follow that vent system. It's not going to go for it. He still can get where he needs to go, but I think that vent is just like the easier way. He's going to have to break this door. He's getting his augments in the middle of the hallway. Probably won't come back to bite him. I'm not sure if there's anybody else here. I thought I heard that player in a dumpster, but maybe it was just that AI I was hearing next to the dumpster. Not really sure what he's doing. The vault hasn't been opened. When the vault gets opened, there's a green check on it. You see Relentless Retreat here, how there's a check. That means it's been opened. So the vault hasn't been opened yet. I'm not really sure what this player is doing. Is he going to go for the shockwaves now or what? He seems to suspect there's another player here. I think best case scenario, if I was in this player's shoes and I think there's another player here, I would go start fighting the boss. The boss really isn't too dangerous. The AI at these places are not really that threatening. You can kill them rather quickly, and even if you don't, they don't have the best accuracy. I think you go down there, start fighting the boss, but don't really be that concerned about fighting the boss. Just like start that fight, and then the other player will be like, you know, incentivized to come and third party you because they think that you're distracted with that. So this player isn't doing that. I'm not really sure what this player is doing at all because the vault seems free at this point. If there is other players here, he could do what I said and just kind of like start the fight, but be very aware of the fact that he could get third partied and just kind of play that to deal with the third parties the best way possible. He might just be lost. That's possible. But I don't understand going to the vault POI and then not getting the vault. The mythics are random from game to game, which will spawn at each POI. So you don't really know for sure which mythics you're going to get. He could end up getting, you know, the best mythic in the game. He could end up getting the worst. But even, like, disregard the mythics. There's a lot of loot in those vaults. And if you're here and you cleared the POI, you might as well take advantage of it. If he's, like, baiting the vault or what. But now we're getting to the point where Radio Tower is going to be spawning in 15 seconds. So I feel like from the time this player started getting his augments in the middle of the hallway, we just entered a timeline that was just like far from ideal. Because now he's not going to be able to get to Radio Tower in time. See, they spawned. He's likely not going to get there in time, and the Radio Towers are incredibly powerful. If you don't know what the Radio Towers do, when you eliminate the boss, they drop a gold Twin Mag AR guaranteed. They drop slurps guaranteed. And then, which is the best healing item in the game. And then they also drop a mobility item. It can be either crash pads, it could be the slap splashes, or it can be shockwaves. And then they also drop a key card that when you put into the radio tower itself, you get forecast for the remainder of the game, which means you'll always see where the next zone is, which is really helpful for endgame. But it's also really helpful for predicting where island is going to be and getting to it first. Because you can see fourth zone when you're in third zone and then kind of put yourself in the best spot to potentially get to island quick. And I feel like getting to island quick also makes it easier to just gatekeep the other players from getting island and get a bunch of easy kills. So I think getting the radio towers are very impactful. I do not like the way this player is played. They opted to not get the vault and also not set themselves up to get radio tower. They might still be able to get to it because neither of them have been hit yet, surprisingly. Okay, the frenzy one just got hit. But I think radio tower is a huge advantage. Not only are slurps the best healing item in the game, but you get to see where zone is always going to be. And there's only 3 people in the lobby that get that advantage in solos, or 3 parties in the team game mode. So, you know, getting that advantage for yourself, I think, gives you a huge advantage on the rest of the players in the lobby. Like, even when forecast was an augment, it was very good. But anybody in the game could have that augment, you know? You can make it an endgame. There's 10 players left. All of them have forecast. With this season, a max of 3. So if you get it, you only have to worry about 2 other players having that advantage. And it's just, it's a huge deal to have it, I think. It just makes every aspect of playing the game easier. But they choose to not go for that. And they also choose to not go for their vault. And, yeah. I'm not really sure what's going on here. That player rocket rammed up. He rocket rammed them. Sounds like there's multiple people, but it might be an NPC in here. I would be surprised if this alien wins. Okay, I was going to say, you choke your pump shots. It is what it is. Okay, it is an NPC behind this player. Now we're on board with Bob. They won that fight, luckily. Interesting loadout. They have no AR, but they have the sniper. So I think this could work. If you're someone who really wants to snipe, I think shotgun, and then your choice of SMG, the burst SMG, I think is going to be most people's first choice because it's scoped. But even the combat SMG, if you're decent at controlling the recoil, you can use at like a decent range. Like you're not going to be shooting people across the map with it, obviously, but you know, he has the sniper for that. So you only need the SMG to cover medium range. So if you are someone who's been, you want to snipe, but you don't know what to carry, I think this could be ideal. Is he wasting the shockwave so other people can't have them? Again, I personally disagree with that. I think shockwaves are just like much better mobility item than the rocket ram, but it is what it is. We'll see if this player gets beamed out of the sky while they're using the rocket ram at any point. Like the rocket ram worked for them in that fight they had versus the alien, but I just think shockwaves are much better. I'm also just not as adamant about like wasting stuff as other people are. Like there's people out there, like I stream every day on Twitch, and like I'll get comments from people that are like, oh yo, well, you need to waste those shockwaves or waste those slurps, and I'm just like not as concerned about doing that most of the time. Like I would rather just do what I want to do throughout the course of the game. The more time I waste, you know, just wasting items, I feel like it's more likely you get caught off guard by something. And it's just like, for those shockwaves to impact him, like it would need to get found by somebody else who like has shockwaves, or who like needs shockwaves, and then they use those shockwaves to make a play on him. This is an AI that he's fighting. I do not like his odds in this game though with how that fight went versus the AI. He hits the snipe, but the remainder of that fight was kind of sketchy, and I think maybe he just wasn't taking it that serious. But what I was trying to say is like I feel like, you know, it's not great odds that you get caught off guard while you're trying to waste stuff, you know, but it's also not great odds that like wasting those items like actually benefits you in the long run of the game. So I'm just like way more concerned about like how I'm playing the game and like where I'm putting myself and things like that than like potentially wasting items so other people can't get them later on. Alrighty then. This player has 5 kills. I'm surprised. I feel like all these fights have just been so awkward. Right, he's going away from the sniper now to a more like traditional setup. I wonder if we'll watch anybody else use the EMPs. I think shockwave EMP combo is incredibly busted, but not as many people are taking advantage of it at this point. This is another AI, I'm pretty sure. I feel like the game's in a really weird spot right now with like how the lobby distributes with like the new vault POIs and then the things like the combat cache, the radio towers, and like the island. If you just don't go to the mythic POI and you don't go to radio tower and you don't go to island, I feel like you will not see a lot of the more like sweaty players from the match. Island spawn's here. We'll see if he's gonna try to take advantage of it. It gets beamed here. Doesn't seem to know where he's getting shot from. I think his rocket ram is on cooldown, right? He just used it. Now he's getting harassed. And this should be GG's. And that's one of the reasons why I think shockwaves are much better. Because, you know, had he shockwaved to where he got there, he still would, and had more shockwaves in his inventory, obviously, he could have used more. But like once you use the rocket ram, not only are you a sitting duck while you're using it, and I feel like players with decent aim won't really have a hard time shooting you out of the sky, but also when you land, it's fun to go down. See what this player goes for, bro. This is like the biggest back bling I've ever seen in my life. What is going on here? I don't know if he's gonna go for island or what. He seemed decent though. His AR shots were like solid, and he cleaned that kill up quick. He's got the new grenade launcher. See how he uses this? I think the EMPs are better than the grenade launcher, especially if you want to like shockwave up. Oh, this is a free kill. Especially if you want to shockwave up and then... Oh, he's dead. It goes through the car. Especially if you want to shockwave up and shoot down. With the grenade launcher, I feel like the EMPs are much better for that. He's getting fried from island, and this is why I was saying it's like good to get there quickly and control it. He ends up beaming that guy back, but not much he can do. This player doesn't have slurps yet. He's gonna go for the pad. Another good thing about shockwaves is when you're on island here, you could just shockwave yourself up and then shockwave other people off the island easily. And you can knock them off potentially with the rocket ram and kill them with fall damage. The shockwave won't eliminate them with fall damage, but I feel like it's harder to... It's like more risky to pull off with the rocket ram than when you just shockwave them off, because a lot of people aren't prepared when you shockwave to just get something thrown at their feet. He's gonna get slurps. This is like huge for him actually. He can get slurps off this kill. He can get shockwaves if he wants them. Okay, he does go for them. He can get that crown. I don't know if he needs the crown or not. He's going for a 2-gun setup. I think this can work just fine. This is what I've been using recently, but with EMP grenades instead of the slap juice. And I get comments on it like, whoa, you can use Sharp Tooth and Twin Mag AR? Like, yeah, you can. It's not as optimal as, like, you know, the exotic Maven would be, but it works, especially if you have the EMP grenades to, like, kind of start the fight. You shouldn't need multiple shotgun shots to get the kill. And I think the Twin Mag AR is versatile enough to, like, get the job done. There's another player on island here. He heard that and quickly reacted to it. This is great. A lot of players would get way too tunnel visioned on the other player in the sky. I don't like this chase, though. I think you let this player just be, like, exist underneath you after you tag him, and then you worry about the other guy. This guy's trying to bait him into the vault with C4. What am I watching? Because, like, when you drop down like this, you give the other, like, that other player that was rifting around that he fried out of the sky, you potentially give that player top control, which isn't, like, ideal. A lot of, like, fighting this island, I think, just, like, comes down to controlling the house. But giving top control up can be fine as well. Like, if you want to shockwave yourself up and then them off, that's, like, an easy way to deal with that. Or just shockwave yourself up and then EMP down on them. But a lot of times... Okay, he gets a kill there. That's good. I did not want them to lose that fight. A lot of times... Like, dealing with players like this player there that was just ratting in the vault, you just don't fight them. Just let them be. Like, the rats usually, like, there's gonna be weird situations, but a lot of times players like that are only gonna kill you if you let them, you know, if you go down there and fight them. So he ends up getting the kill. It works out, but, like, obviously that player camping the vault didn't seem to be the best. He's gonna capture this so he can get more slurps. He could drink a slurp and maintain his HP, or he could just drink these slaps and heal off that when he gets the slurps. I assume that's what he'll do and then carry 3 slurps, but we'll see what he ends up going for. He might just want the slaps for the unlimited sprint, or to have some sort of heal to, like, actually insta heal, because the slurp only, like, ticks up a little bit at a time. Like, if you were desperate and needed to heal, like, as fast as possible, then, like, slurp plus slap juice at the same time would heal you rather quick if you had the ability to. Oh, he's going for slurps and med meh. Alrighty then. Like, personally, if I was gonna carry double heal, I would want double slurps, or, like, slurps and then, like, shield fish, or slurps and then, like, slap splashes or exotic slap splashes. But I very rarely carry double heals in pubs at this point. I did in builds a decent amount last season. Okay, he ditches that for the bunkers. I think this is a good play. Like I was saying, I very rarely carry double heal for pubs. Like, it's just usually not that big of a deal. GG's, free kill. He has 3 opponents remaining. And this is where forecast would be huge. Because let's say next zone is going to be, like, over here. Then you could know to put yourself, like, right here. But if next zone is going to be over here, then it's not really that worth fighting for a spot like this. Or if next zone is going to be over here, then you know, like, okay, maybe I'll play here and then we'll have an easy rotate out. Like, this half and half zone and knowing what zone is going to be after this makes it much, like, when you have forecast, makes it much easier to just put yourself in a spot where you're easily going to win the game. And it seems like he's in a spot where he's easily going to win the game because people are fighting in Storm right now, and it's only a 2-tick at this point. That's actually crazy. I was expecting it to be 5 minimum. This player's rocket ramming at his own. And a lot of players try to, like, late rotate with the rocket ram, but if you have somebody with decent aim, they're just free beams. I would shockwave onto this house here. Oh shoot, there's another player there. I was gonna say, I would shockwave on there and then just make sure I got that kill. Which it might be seen as, like, a waste of a, like, shockwave to kill that weak person. But that would make it a 1v1, and then he would have 5 shockwaves remaining for that 1v1. I would shockwave onto the house now. This is ideal for him. Because if he gets on this house, he wins the game automatically, I think. Like, the player that gets to this house first has a huge advantage. And it's a 1v1, so it's not like you should need all those shockwaves. Like, imagine if he got here sooner and, like, saw that player, like, down in that courtyard or something, you know? Like, that timing might have been, like, pretty integral. If he got here sooner. And then same with, like, when the guy was coming out of Storm, obviously that shark was there, so that throws a wrench and things. But if he got to this house when that guy was, like, over here, you know? Like, that's a free kill. Like, if he got there when he was on, like, the right by these trees or wherever he was, sliding down that. This is a risky play. I would shockwave myself. Okay, he dodged it. But if someone's trying to land on you like that and you have shockwaves, you can shockwave yourself up. And then GG's. the person with the rocket ram lands, they're stuck in animation, and it's easy. And that's why I don't think very highly of the rocket ram. That was just a huge 50-50 on that player. If this aura just didn't shoot their gun at all, it still wouldn't have been good for that player rocket ramming. They still would have just landed over there and been like doing who knows what. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found this helpful, informative, interesting. If you did, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Oh, also let me know down in the comments below if you would like to see that video on like tips for looting these vault POIs. Not only on like the, the mindset to have, but also the ideal routes for each vault. I would be very interested to hear that in the comments below, because if people want that, I'll make it. If not, that's fine too. Like I said, it is later in the season where maybe a lot of people have already kind of learned how they want to approach these vaults. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.